Well, folks, after an incredibly successful season, we have made promotion to the Vanarama National South. We've got about an extra £3,000 in wage budget. Can I build a team that's going to be successful in the Vanarama National South? In all honesty, it looks like it's going to be a little bit easier than I previously anticipated. Look for some amazing Taskmaster contestants in our upcoming signings for next season's team. Well, welcome back to our transfer special. Super excited to have you here. As you may remember from our last episode, we ended up winning the Southern League Premier South for promotion to the Vanarama National South League. Super excited about that, but I did want to bring you to this screen because all this happened before our season review. So I'll bring you your season review here in just a little bit, but we did re-sign a couple of players to some one-year contracts. This Frank Skinner contract was a mistake. I accidentally hit the button on what Frank Skinner wanted, and £825 per week is much larger than what I had originally anticipated. We also signed Tim Key to a new one-year deal, Angela Dravid, Sophie Duker, and Josh Whitcomb. So we put a couple of contracts out there. Really happy to get some of these individuals signed. If you actually look at the finances, it doesn't look like we have a whole lot of money left to spend, but we have a lot of contracts that we are going to dump at the end of the season. I need to actually go through and do that, so that frees up some wage budget, so that way we can kind of dive in and start getting hopefully some new players signed here in just a little bit. But I will bring you back with the season review, or if we sign or re-sign any players. I did say I would bring you back if we did re-sign a few more players. We got 3 more here that we went through and re-signed. Joe Thomas is re-signed for a one-year contract on £325 per week. Di Henwood on £250 per week, and John Richardson on £475 per week. Pretty cheap bargains when you consider we'll be in the Vanarama National South next season. I'll bring you back if we have anything more to add. So as promised, I have brought you back for the Chesham United end of season review for the 2023-2024 season. Let's take a look here. We've got some new arrivals that are here. Had quite a few transfers in, as you see all of the different Taskmaster contestants, except for Alex LaFleur. You can get out of here. No, just kidding. Alex LaFleur actually did a great job as a non-Taskmaster contestant, contributing in 31 games. But Sophie Duker, 49 appearances, 23 goals, 8 assists. Joe Thomas, 7 goals, 13 assists. Frank Skinner really holding that midfield when he wasn't either injured or suspended. 4 goals and 2 assists. John Richardson really held up as goalkeeper over the course of the season. In fact, that's the goalkeeper we're going to be going with moving forward, just based off of ability and cost. And then Chris Ramsey spent a lot of time coming off the bench. Really good support from the man we got from Leicester City. Let's look at the season results here. Of course, we were at the top with 102 points, just squeaking out a victory over Dorchester Town. Dorchester Town will be going up with us to the Vanarama National South. Pretty exciting to renew that rivalry. That'll be something to look forward to next year. Biggest win was a 5-0 victory over Hendon. We had a match to remember that was a 4-0 victory over Didcot Town that really helped us solidify our move to the next league up. Finances, finances, finances. We're still local here. Sponsorship deals. One-year deal for about £16,000. Sponsorship for $30,000. We don't have anything to compare it to because we didn't have anything in the previous year to look forward to. How we lined up looks like our best 11 here. Ramesh Ranganathan in goal. Key, Walker, Dravid, and LaFleur will be our back four. Henwood and Skinner in the midfield. Whitcomb, Duker, and Joe Thomas, and Roisin Connolly up top. Any awards we get this year? I was Premier... Oh, I almost said Premier League. Southern League Premier South Manager of the Month for August. That's very, very exciting. Fans Player of the Season, Roisin Connolly. Young Player of the Season, Sophie Duker. Signing of the Season, Sophie Duker. Goal of the Season by Josh Whitcomb. Our top goal scorer, Roisin Connolly, 43 goals. If Roisin Connolly can continue that in the Vanarama National South, we are going to be in good shape. Josh Whitcomb with 15 assists. Most Player of the Match by Roisin Connolly. And we set all kinds of awards because we didn't have any before. History in the making, we are going up. And managerial timeline, which we can look at some other point in time. So thought I'd bring that back for you. There are a few players that I designated for free transfer. Joe Brand, our first name in the game person who is going to end up being gone, unfortunately just did not look like somebody who could make the move up to the next league. So unfortunately, Joe Brand, appreciate your time. Thank you for your service, but you are out of here. Furthermore, we're also going to be getting rid of a couple of other players in the squad. I'm going to keep around Chris Ramsey, but the other person who is a name in the game, unfortunately, Ramesh Ranganathan, just has to go. We really have 2 first-team goalkeepers that are here Ramesh Ranganathan, with 650 pounds per week, it's just a lot of money that we could be utilizing elsewhere in the team. So unfortunately, Ramesh Ranganathan is going to have to go this summer, but we will try to bring in some replacements. And as we bring in those replacements, we will spin the wheel and give them those Taskmaster names. More coming up here in just a little bit. So far, it hasn't been the most exciting summer, to say the least. We're pretty much to the point where we're in June, and I've only made 2 new signings, and they're a little bit iffy at best. I'm hoping that some more free agents come throughout this summer, maybe at the end of June, early July, when the free transfer window opens for leagues that are above us. But 2 new signings means we get to spin the wheel twice. So let's see what we end up with here. Who's going to be signing for our team from Taskmaster FC? First, welcome to the club, Sean Gibson. And secondly, who else will be signing for our club today? Sean Gibson and Jenny Eclair. We'll get those names in the game and we'll introduce you to these new Taskmaster FC players here in just a moment. So as I mentioned previously, we have 2 new players on our team here. I don't want to call them panic signings. I definitely think I can do better as the offseason moves forward, but we did pick up Sean Gibson. Sean Gibson is going to be a fantastic backup right back in the game here, not really costing us much per week. 2.5-star ability, 3.5-star potential. Looks to be pretty good. Don't really like the height there, but I do think that Sean Gibson will slip well into the team. In addition to that, I did bring in Jenny Eclair. Jenny Eclair is a central midfielder, 3-star ability, 3-star potential. Might be able to beef that up with a little bit of training here. Can play in lots of different positions, but really is only accomplished in the central midfield and possibly defensive midfield if we end up taking that direction. Looks to have some pretty good skills here, pretty good technical, mental, and physical skills. Might actually slip into the first team dependent upon how Dai Henwood ends up turning out. If we actually go and look at the tactics here, I feel like we've got kind of a good rotation here of Skinner, Eclair, and Henwood in the midfield. We just need to find, I think, some more players to kind of round this out. But if you take a look, so we have a team that's about as close as we've been to having a full Taskmaster team here. We have our left back LaFleur here. We might be able to pick somebody up. I would like to definitely strengthen that position and just overall just see what else we can strengthen here. I like the star ratings that are here. I know that they are all relative to one another, but I definitely think that when the offseason comes, when we get some of those bigger teams that end up releasing some of those players, we get some of those players on trial, I really think we can pick up some good ones to really beef up and bolster this team. Watch this space because we're definitely going to be making some moves here in just a little bit. 7. Yes, 7 new players from the Taskmaster multiverse have come through and signed for us here at Chesham United. I'm really excited to show you these players. I will tell you, it has been a very interesting summer of transfers. We're one of those teams where we've moved up quite quickly. We don't quite have a good reputation quite yet, so players are a little hesitant, especially players that are going to make our team better. They're a little more hesitant to sign for us, but I did feel like we came through at the end and managed to put together a solid team that I think is going to be very competitive in the Vanarama National South. I'm going to go back one more part here because there was one more individual that I did not get a chance to show you. This is Kerry Godleman. Kerry Godleman is a left back. Unfortunately, just was not quite up to the full potential, so I'm not sure how much we're going to be seeing of Kerry Godleman over the course of the next couple of seasons. But 2-star card ability, potentially 4-star. Looks to be okay, might have to come in every once in a while, might be a rotational player, but I wouldn't expect anything much from that particular individual. If we go through and look at this current season, however, 6 individuals we managed to sign after the free agents were released by players, or by teams rather, that were higher up in the upper division. So here you have David Baddiel, who is signing from Swansea City. David Baddiel will be our backup goalkeeper. I do realize that it is not as good as Ramesh Ranganathan, but it was really important to clear up that 700 pounds per week, so that way we could sign a variety of different players so we could be a little bit more successful. We don't really need 2 first-team goalkeepers going into the season. I'll probably regret saying that a little bit later on in this season. But 2-star current ability, potentially 4 to 5-star. Looks to have some decent stats here, just really needs to grow. Thought about sending this one out on loan, but I do need a backup keeper. So this will probably be our cup keeper. get some games in, hopefully develops into something good here. We've also signed Brindley Stint from Taskmaster New Zealand Season 1. Brindley is going to be our backup striker here. Good first touch, good finish, good heading. Unfortunately, only 5'7", but has really good physicals here. 2.5-star current ability. Potentially up to 4-star potential. Should be a nice backup and in the rotation in the top of the lineup here. We did manage to sign quite a few first-team starters here. Lucy Beaumont is not one of those, but Lucy Beaumont is a potential future prospect here. This is when I was kind of getting a little bit desperate. 1.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. Again, don't expect much from that particular space. We did sign Lali Adefope, who's a 3.5-star current ability central defender. I think we really have an opportunity to get some really good rotation in that central defender spot. We have individuals that could play central defense and out on the wings on each side. So hopefully that will provide us with a little bit of support moving forward. Signing for my personal favorite team, not to give anything away, my personal favorite team here, Crystal Palace. But very excited to get Lali Adefope on board. Jenny Tien from Taskmaster Australia Season 2. Again, another 3.5-star current ability. Possibly 4-star potential, providing an excellent option here. We'll go straight in to the first team here, central midfield. We've got quite a few midfielders here. We've got Frank Skinner's in there, Di Henwood is in there, Sophie Duker can possibly play that position. So we have quite a few central midfielders that can play in that position. And then rounding out our signings is going to be Sam Campbell, who again is an attacking midfielder here. 4-star current ability, 5-star potential. This could be an individual who really takes us to the next level. Again, signed from Crystal Palace here. Can play attacking midfielder, but also can play out on the wings and in central midfield as well. So a very versatile player. So really, really excited to get those individuals into our team. If we actually go and look at the season preview, we are 8th to go up. So I'm pretty pleased with that, considering we were promoted from the previous division. You actually see Dulwich Hamlet up there. Really one of the big favorites to end up getting promoted to the Vanarama National proper. But hopefully we can be there as well. Sam Campbell actually slots into the Media Dream 11, which I'm actually really quite pleased with. That was quite an impressive signing for Chesham United. If we actually go and look at our tactics here, we'll keep with the same tactic, but this appears to be roughly the starting lineup we're going to end up having for our first game. Our first game against Braintree Town here in 5 days. We'll end up with John Richardson in goal, a defensive back four of Danielle Walker, Lali Adefope, Angela Dravid, and Tim Key. Midfield, we're looking at Frank Skinner and Jenny Tien. Sophie Duker, we're going to move Sophie Duker from our attacking midfield out to the wing here. Sam Campbell's going to take her place in the central midfield here. Josh Whitcomb on the right wing and Roisin Kennedy up top. For our bench, I still think we only get 5 spots and only 3 substitutions, so some individuals are going to have to be let out. I do tend to prefer a more pared down squad than one that's got a lot of depth to it, and I think part of that is just making sure that we're keeping people happy. There's a lot of players that end up, especially in bigger squads, end up not getting into the first team squad, and that ends up being problematic because they end up demanding more game time. But I think this will be a pretty good start here. We did end up managing to re-sign Chris Ramsey, who might provide some good support in the defensive realm here. But overall, I think we have a pretty good team here. I wouldn't expect a whole lot, unfortunately, from Kerry Godleman or Sean Gibson. Sorry. They were kind of panic signings at the beginning of June. I didn't realize that I was going to end up getting so many more opportunities to sign players in July when all of the other bigger teams in divisions above ours ended up releasing their players. But hopefully this will give us a good start to our season. What I will do is we'll just take a look at our finances real quick. It's taken a little bit of a hit since we've moved up in the league, and our projection is not looking good. $500,000 down in just one season is not what we were looking for. I think last season we ended up losing about 90,000 pounds, which was manageable. This is much, much worse. So we're going to need maybe a cup run. We're going to need maybe somebody coming in and purchasing the team and pumping some money in. Maybe the board will pump some money in. I do not know exactly what to expect, but this is not a good sign. It's very ominous for the future of this club. In other exciting news, I am favored personnel. I will take that. Still playing at the Meadow, still only 185 season ticket holders, again, should be a very interesting way that we go through and start our season. So that being said, I just wanted to show you the transfers that took place over the course of the summer. I'm very excited to get started. Next time you see me, we will be taking on Braintree Town. Who else will be taking on Braintree Town? Looking at Braintree. You'll go there someday. Braintree and Bath. Braintree and Bath will be our first two fixtures as we head into our second season of Taskmaster FC. If you liked that, and hopefully you did, make sure to leave a like on it. Make sure that you subscribe as well, and we will see you very soon for our next episode of Taskmaster FC. See you soon. Bye, everybody.